A Russian soldier is seen fleeing in panic from a forest edge and running through a cemetery sector in the Zaporizhia direction before breaking into an exposed open field. Moments later, a Ukrainian drone catches up from behind, surges ahead of his path, and rapidly descends, forcing the soldier to the ground during the initial strike. Injured from the first impact, he remains down attempting to recover as a Ukrainian bomber drone arrives overhead and releases another munition toward the position. Despite the continued pressure, the soldier defiantly gestures toward the drone above him, prompting the aircraft to release a second bomb moments later. The following situation unfolds near a village in the Chasiv Yar direction, where a Ukrainian drone conducts a sweep around abandoned houses showing signs of recent activity. While preparing to inspect one of the buildings more closely, the operator suddenly spots movement along a nearby road. A Russian soldier riding a small electric vehicle quickly passes through the area below. The drone immediately changes course and begins pursuing him from behind. Realizing the danger, the soldier abandons the vehicle and attempts to escape on foot across the roadside terrain. Moments later, he loses balance and falls, allowing the drone to rapidly close the distance and commit to the engagement from above. A Russian soldier is seen emerging from dense tree lines, carrying an anti-tank mine in his hands, likely preparing to place it somewhere along the frontline route ahead. After moving across the terrain for a short distance, exhaustion appears to catch up with him. He stops beneath a concrete utility pole, drops the heavy mine onto the ground beside him, and sits down to rest in the open area. Several minutes later, a Ukrainian strike drone arrives over the position after detecting the movement from above and rapidly descends toward the soldier to commit to the engagement. The following footage was recorded from above by a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone operating over an exposed frontline sector. The drone detects a Russian soldier running across open ground before suddenly collapsing onto the dirt below. Moments later, the soldier drops to his knees and repeatedly bows forward with both hands lowered toward the ground, appearing to plead desperately towards something in front of him. Seconds later, a Ukrainian drone enters directly into view and hovers low near the position. Despite the aircraft approaching closer, the soldier continues making the same pleading gestures without attempting to flee. The drone maintains its course and rapidly commits to the engagement moments later. The following situation unfolds across a grass field in the Zaporizhia direction, where a Ukrainian drone moves quickly over the terrain, conducting a rapid sweep of the area. Moments later, the operator detects a Russian soldier resting beneath a lone tree standing in the open field. The drone immediately turns back and accelerates toward the position. As the aircraft closes the distance, the soldier suddenly reacts and attempts to stand and flee across the grass. The effort comes too late as the drone rapidly continues its approach toward the exposed position. A Russian soldier is seen moving along a narrow trail near the edge of a forest when he suddenly lowers his body after realizing a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone is watching and tracking him from above. Moments later, a Ukrainian strike drone rapidly moves toward the forest edge after receiving the reported position. Below, the soldier notices that the drone does not attack immediately, so he continues moving forward while repeatedly glancing upward to monitor the aircraft overhead. As the drone closes in from above, the soldier continues walking along the trail while constantly looking into the sky to follow the drone's movement. Moments later, another Russian soldier suddenly bursts out from nearby brush and runs off in a different direction to escape the area. The first soldier, however, stops beneath a tree and attempts to rest. Above him, the drone finally confirms the exact position and rapidly accelerates toward the target. Exhausted beneath the tree, the soldier remains motionless without attempting to flee or evade as the drone descends and commits to the engagement. A Russian soldier is seen standing inside a ruined structure, leaning against a collapsed wall, as if pausing to recover after movement through the damaged area. Moments later, a Ukrainian drone begins approaching the position from above after the location is identified. Below, the soldier remains unaware of the incoming aircraft and continues resting without showing any sign of caution. Only when the sound of the drone engine begins echoing through the ruins does he suddenly react and sprint toward a nearby grass field in visible panic. From above, the drone immediately tracks the movement, increases speed, rapidly closes the distance, and descends to commit to the engagement before the soldier can escape the exposed terrain. The following situation unfolds after a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian sniper concealed near dense brush along the front line. The soldier remains completely motionless against the ground, seemingly aware that danger may already be nearby. Seconds later, a Ukrainian strike drone arrives over the area and flies directly across the sniper's hiding position. Despite the aircraft passing overhead, the soldier continues lying still without attempting to move or reveal his position. For several moments, the drone circles above the terrain before eventually turning back toward the concealed area. A Ukrainian drone crashes beside a Russian soldier resting beneath a tree, startling him awake in visible panic. The soldier quickly sits up and stares at the aircraft lying near the position. After several moments spent regaining composure, he grabs a nearby branch and repeatedly strikes the disabled drone in an attempt to destroy it. For a brief moment, the area appears calm again. Seconds later, the drone suddenly reactivates beside him and detonates near the position. In a ruined village near the Pokrovsk direction, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects two Russian soldiers moving carefully through collapsed structures while searching for temporary cover and a place to rest. After spending several moments navigating the debris-filled area, the soldiers eventually enter a small shack resembling an auxiliary storage structure hidden among the ruins. From above, the drone continues tracking the position and relays the coordinates to a nearby strike unit. Moments later, a Ukrainian drone rapidly approaches the structure and descends directly toward the concealed position to commit to the engagement. The following situation unfolds across open terrain near trench lines in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier moving alone through the field. Focused entirely on the ground ahead, the soldier continues walking without realizing he is already being tracked from above. Moments later, a nearby Ukrainian drone unit is redirected toward the position and quickly reaches the area, flying directly across the soldier's path at low altitude. Below, the soldier continues moving at a steady pace, still unaware of the danger closing in. Only when the drone suddenly passes in front of him does he instinctively lower his body in surprise. Above, the drone immediately adjusts its flight path, accelerates from behind, and rapidly commits to the engagement before the soldier can react further. Across an abandoned agricultural field, a Russian soldier is seen moving alone through the open terrain, without support or any nearby cover. Moments later, a nearby Ukrainian drone unit detects the exposed movement and rapidly redirects an FPV drone toward the position. As the aircraft quickly closes the distance from above, the soldier suddenly realizes the danger and breaks into a panicked run across the field. The reaction comes too late, as the drone rapidly accelerates and commits to the engagement before he can escape the exposed ground. The following footage was recorded by a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone above the Chasiv Yar direction, overlooking a heavily damaged urban sector near the front line. Below, the drone detects two Russian soldiers struggling to support a third soldier between them, slowly carrying him through the ruins toward a nearby shelter. Their movement appears difficult and unsteady, suggesting the wounded soldier may have been injured during an earlier failed assault. After reaching the bunker entrance, the group carefully moves the injured man inside, likely attempting to provide emergency treatment or temporary cover. One by one, the soldiers disappear beneath the shelter. Moments later, a Ukrainian strike drone approaches at low altitude, closes in on the bunker entrance, and rapidly commits to the engagement inside the position. A Ukrainian drone conducts a patrol above an abandoned agricultural field when the operator suddenly detects two Russian soldiers below, wearing thermal concealment cloaks across the exposed terrain. After noticing the approaching aircraft, both soldiers immediately freeze in place, seemingly hoping the camouflage will prevent detection from above. The drone continues closing the distance while maintaining steady visual contact on the position. Moments later, the aircraft lowers altitude, rapidly accelerates toward the concealed figures, and commits to the engagement across the open field. Near a route leading towards central Pokrovsk, a Ukrainian drone rapidly approaches a Russian troop transport vehicle moving along the road. As the aircraft closes in, soldiers riding inside panic and quickly abandon the vehicle, scattering for cover around the roadside. Moments later, a second Ukrainian drone arrives over the area and begins tracking the soldiers attempting to hide near the transport. With the positions exposed from above, the drone rapidly descends and commits to the engagement against the troops concealed around the vehicle. A Ukrainian drone flies at low altitude through tree lines near the front line, searching for a Russian soldier whose position had been reported earlier by reconnaissance teams. As the aircraft carefully scans between the trees, the operator eventually detects the soldier concealed behind a large trunk near the edge of the wooded area. The drone immediately adjusts direction and begins slowly closing the distance from above. Despite the approaching engine noise growing louder, the soldier remains seated and motionless behind the tree, showing no visible attempt to flee as the aircraft continues moving closer toward the position.